Did Justin Bieber name a love song after Selena Gomez's dog and think no one would notice? Because fans are noticing things that are hard to explain away? From what they're seeing, it feels like more than coincidence. There are quiet hints, emotional lyrics that match Selena's past songs, and even some suspicious timing around release dates. One track in particular stands out, and fans believe it might be Justin's hidden way of reaching out to his ex. The song includes emotional lines that seem to mirror what Selena has written in the past. To add to that, the title of the song is the same as the name of her dog, and it just so happens that the track dropped the same month as Selena's birthday, during the same year she got engaged. Even the album title lines up strangely well. So people are wondering, is this just a smart reference to their shared past? Or is Justin leaving behind little clues on purpose? What makes this even more complicated is Hailey's involvement. As Justin's wife, she's been posting captions that many interpret as passive-aggressive or even defensive. Instead of coming across romantic, they seem pointed like a reaction. 2. The narrative fans are building online. This led many to think Justin hasn't completely moved on. Some fans say he's caught in a loop, where everything he creates somehow traces back to Selena. Others think he's just poking the internet trying to stir up buzz. Either way, people have noticed a pattern. When Selena does something, Justin seems to follow with a move of his own. So now the question is whether all of this is just coincidence, or if he's trying to send a message without saying it directly. It all kicked off with one song, Daisies. It's a track on Justin's new album, and on the surface, it sounds like a typical love song. But if you know Selena Gomez, that name carries a different meaning. Daisy is the name of her dog. Not just some pet she had years ago, but a dog that's been part of her life in a public way. She's brought Daisy up in interviews, had her appear in photo shoots, and even tied her to her beauty brand. So when Justin puts out a song named Daisy, fans immediately start connecting the dots. And this song isn't just about romance, it's about missing someone, waiting for them, counting the days until you can be close again. One of the lyrics says, "I'm counting the days." It could be a random choice. Maybe he just liked the word, but when you zoom out and look at the full picture, the lyrics, the album themes, the timing, it starts to feel more intentional. This album is packed with emotion, past regrets, and distance. So naming a song after Selena's dog doesn't feel random at all. Fans didn't ignore it. The moment they saw the song title and heard the lyrics, theories started flying. People started saying that Justin might be trying to talk to Selena through music using her dog's name as a quiet signal. The song doesn't feel like it's about a flower. It feels like it's about someone he still thinks about. And if this was supposed to be about Hailey, the name doesn't really fit. Nothing about their public life connects with the name Daisies, but it does with Selena especially. When you listen to the next track on the album, that next song, Zuma House, starts with lines that are very personal. If I fall, would you catch me? It starts with this. If I broke your heart, would you take me back? If I broke my arm, would you sign my cast? At first glance, it's two different songs from two different artists, but when you read them together, it's hard not to see the similarities. Both songs begin with soft, vulnerable questions, and both sound like they're part of a bigger conversation, one that's happening between two people through music instead of real life. It's actually kind of surprising how well the songs match in tone and emotion. When fans played the openings of both songs back to back on TikTok, even casual listeners noticed the connection. These aren't your usual romantic lines. They're more like late-night thoughts you'd have while thinking about someone you never got closure with. So who are these lyrics really for? Because they don't feel like general love songs written for a partner. They feel personal, like unfinished conversations that never had a proper ending. And just when you think the connections can't get stronger, the timeline adds even more heat. Justin's album didn't just come out randomly. It was released close to Selena's birthday. Now, in the music world, release dates are often planned out by the record label. There are marketing strategies, rollouts, and sometimes just industry scheduling. But the fact that this isn't the first time Justin has dropped music near one of Selena's major life moments, that's hard to ignore. And it's not just the date. One of the songs on the album includes the lyric, "Yeah, it's your birthday. You're in first place." It seems simple at first. It doesn't sound like a party line. It sounds like a memory, like someone thinking about a person who once meant everything. And if this line was meant for Hailey, it's an unusual choice. We haven't seen Justin write lyrics celebrating Hailey in that kind of way, not even when they were newly married. So again, the question comes up, if it's not about her, who is it about? There's another detail that's made fans even more certain this isn't all just in their heads. This kind of timing between Justin's releases and Selena's life events has happened before. When Selena dropped her documentary, Justin posted vague emotional lyrics that had people talking. When she released her comeback single, he followed up with songs about faith, loss, and personal growth. Now again, around the time Selena celebrated another birthday, his latest album showed up quietly but clearly close enough to raise eyebrows. And this time, fans were watching closely. The tone of Justin's new music feels personal and reflective, like he's looking back at something he hasn't really gotten over. Then there's the album title, just one word, swag. At first glance, it feels like he's just playing into nostalgia, maybe referencing the early 2010s when swag was basically his catchphrase, back when he rocked the hoodies, the sideswept hair, and couldn't give an interview without throwing in the word swaggy. But to people who've followed this saga from the start, that word means more than just style or attitude. It brings back a specific time in both his career and his relationship with Selena. That 2011-2012 window wasn't just Justin's peak. Femme was also when he and Selena were constantly seen together, sharing public moments that fans still talk about. The red carpets, the vacations, the stolen moments caught by paparazzi, those were the swag years. So when Justin suddenly brings that word back after a decade of not using it, it makes people ask, why now? And it's not just the meaning of the word that has fans theorizing, it's the letters. Look closely at swag. It includes SNG, the initials of Selena Gomez. Could that be a coincidence? Sure. But given everything else, the timing, the themes, the Daisy reference, it feels more like a quiet message hidden in plain sight. Fans on Reddit and TikTok were quick to point it out, and the theory spread fast. Maybe this album isn't about branding or throwing it back to his old self. Maybe it's about someone he hasn't stopped thinking about. Someone whose influence is still present in his songs. And there's more. The album's visuals all feature couple photos, mostly of Justin and Hailey, polished and styled. It's romantic on the surface. But here's the interesting part. This is the first time Justin has used his actual relationship as a visual focus in this way. Go back just a few months before this release, and you'll see that Selena had dropped a project with her then fiancé Benny Blanco, which was also full of romantic, soft-toned couple imagery. Very similar vibes. So naturally, people asked, was Justin inspired by it, or was he reacting to it? Then came the promo photo that made fans really start analyzing. In the picture, Hailey is looking up at Justin, clearly affectionate. But Justin isn't looking at her. He's staring into the distance with a blank expression, almost like he's not fully there. It's a detail that seems small, but when you add in the lyrics, it starts to look like something more emotional. Take his song Walking Away, for example. The lyrics go, "Girl, we better stop before we say something. We've been testing our patience. I think we're better off taking a break and remembering what grace is. Then later, baby, I ain't walking away. You were my diamond, gave you a ring, I made you a promise. I told you I'd change." Now, yes, he gave Hailey a ring. He married her. But the way those lines come across doesn't feel like celebration. It sounds more like regret. Almost like he's trying to apologize for something to someone. Then in another track, Too Long, he sings, "I've been waiting too long. You keep stroking my ego." Relationship? Then Hailey stepped in. Right after the album dropped, she reposted Justin's announcement on Instagram with a caption that read, "Is it finally clocking to you?" That alone sounded like a subtle dig, and fans immediately started guessing if it was aimed at Selena, or maybe at critics who keep comparing the two women. It didn't stop there. She followed it with another post using the song Obsessed by Mariah Carey, the one about people who just won't stop talking about you. So who was she pointing at? The internet? The media? Or was it aimed directly at Selena, especially since Rare Beauty had just featured a model who looked a lot like Hailey in one of their recent campaigns? The timing, again, was almost too perfect. But it didn't end there. Justin added to the chaos by reposting a viral video clip, a full unfiltered rant where he went off. Not a simple behind-the-scenes video or music clip, but a wild, heated monologue. In it, he says things like, "I'm just an FNG Bieber. I am the rollout. I am the merch. I am the press. Y'all better put some respect on my name. At 16, I was selling out stadiums while you were still sitting in class. It was messy, raw, and totally unpolished. But maybe that was the point. It didn't sound rehearsed. It sounded real, even angry." So now people are wondering, was this just ego? Or was it frustration about the way fans keep tying him to the past, to Selena? Whatever the case, it worked. People paid attention, and maybe that's what he wanted all along. So let's go over what we've got. Lyrics that sound like they're meant for someone he used to love. A song named after Selena's dog. Emotional lines about regret and promises. An album title that throws it back to the height of their relationship. Visuals that look more like staged offenses than genuine romance. An online behavior that seems full of quiet responses to everything Selena does. Is all of this just random chance? Maybe, but it's hard to believe all these things keep lining up by accident. Every time Selena does something that makes headlines, Justin responds whether he means to or not. It's like the connection still exists, even if it's just through music and small moments. So what's the truth here? Are fans reading too much into it? Or is Justin saying something without ever saying it directly? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because the deeper you look, the more twisted it gets. And let's be honest, this drama is far from over. So hit that subscribe button if you're into wild timelines, emotional clues, and celebrity mess that refuses to stay in the past.